The story of Prophet Musa is a story of great tawakkul, or trust in Allah. He was born among the children of Israel when they were enslaved by the Egyptians. Pharaoh was afraid the children of Israel were becoming too numerous, so he ordered for a son from every household to be killed. By that order, Prophet Musa should have been killed at the time of his birth, but his mother put her trust in Allah. She placed him into a basket and set the basket into the Nile River. However, Prophet Musa was found in the river by the wife of the Pharaoh, and she was so drawn to him that she wanted to raise him as her own child. The problem was that Prophet Musa refused every woman that tried to feed him, but his sister watched him travel down the river and be picked up by Pharaoh's wife. So she suggested a woman that might be able to nurse Prophet Musa and it was none other than his own mother, subhanAllah. Imagine the gratitude she must have felt, thinking she may never see her child again, and now he was back in her arms, eating from her breast. This is the reward of patience and trust in Allah. Pharaoh and his wife took a child into their care without knowing he would become a great prophet of Allah, freeing the children of Israel which the Pharaoh had enslaved and leading Pharaoh's own army to their destruction. This is the story of Prophet Musa and it's a reminder that Allah is the best of planners. Musa witnessed a fight between an Egyptian and an Israelite slave. Intending to protect the slave, Musa accidentally killed the Egyptian. Afraid of being killed by the Pharaoh, Musa fled Egypt, leaving his fate to Allah. He found work and a wife and a family of his own. Now in Islam, to kill one person without just cause is like killing all of mankind. But there are two important things to observe in this incident. First is the intention of Prophet Musa and second is his response. The Quran says, he pleaded, "My Lord, I have definitely wronged my soul, so forgive me." And Allah forgave him, for he's indeed the all-forgiving, most merciful. This is in no way an excuse to do wrong, but instead is a reminder of the mercy of Allah when you've truly repented and turned to Him. رَبِّ إِنِّي لِمَا إِنزَلْتَ إِلَيَّ مِنْ خَيْرٍ فَكِيرٍ. This is the cry of Prophet Musa as he's fleeing a death sentence from the most powerful leader in Egypt. He literally had nothing but the clothes on his back and his trust in Allah. He came upon a well where two women were struggling to water their herd. He helped them and then said this prayer which says, "My Lord, I'm truly in need of whatever good you may have for me." One of the women invited Musa to meet her father, and when he told his story to her father, he said, "Have no fear, you're now safe from the wrongdoing people." And then he said, "I'd like you to marry one of my daughters." He gave Musa work and a place to live. He didn't ask him how much money he had. He didn't hold his mistakes against him, and he didn't worry about the problems that may come with a man who is fleeing the Pharaoh of Egypt. Instead, he was yet another person putting his trust in Allah. And a lesson we can take from this is how the character of Prophet Musa and the manner in which he presented himself spoke louder than anything from his past. After fleeing Egypt and escaping a death sentence, Prophet Musa had nothing but his good character and his trust in Allah. Years later, Allah spoke to him and told him to return to Egypt and demand the Pharaoh free his people. Pharaoh refused, but those who believed in the God of Musa put their trust in Allah and fled Egypt, and the army pursued them. Eventually, they met a dead end, stopped at the Red Sea with nowhere to go. Imagine the defeat these people must have felt in that moment. Literally stopped at the sea with nowhere to turn. It is in these desperate moments we must not forget the provision of Allah. Musa knew Allah would provide a way. He raised his staff and the sea opened. The children of Israel made their way across and Pharaoh's army went after them. And Allah closed the sea, destroying the entire army and granting the faithful with freedom. The story of Prophet Musa is filled with moments that would lead most people to complete despair, but the story reminds us that Allah has supreme authority over every situation, and He is the best of planners. Assalamu alaikum. When Prophet Musa was commanded by Allah to go to the Pharaoh and free his people from slavery, he prayed, "My Lord, uplift my heart and make my task easy, and remove the impediment from my tongue so people may understand me, and grant me a helper from my family, Harun, my brother. Strengthen me through him and let him share my task so that we may glorify you much and remember you much, for truly you've always been overseeing us." Allah answered his prayer and bestowed prophethood on Harun salam. Although Musa was a mighty and strong prophet chosen by Allah, he wasn't too shy to ask for help. And Prophet Harun salam went on to be a voice for his brother. Together, they went against the Pharaoh of Egypt, and by the power of Allah, they freed their people from slavery. This shows us the importance of brotherhood in Islam. No matter how high your rank may seem, don't be afraid to ask for help. Allow your brothers to take part in your task, to glorify Allah, and may Allah allow them to take part in your blessings. Assalamu alaikum.